Alright, it's time for some corrections to my video on Disk 1 skip. So we're at T4 right now. Previously, I had said that if you were to accidentally overshoot, then you should return to this position and then continue as normal with a +2 count. This is wrong. This will not work, and I didn't realize it at the time, and that was my mistake. But we're going to go over the actual fix, which is to come up with actual adjustments for hitting -1 or +1. So, if you hit frame -1, which is where Wu Tai's tail is in the middle of this shadow right here, and you want to use that, first of all, the count is going to be -1 as a result of you having rotated one fewer frame. We're going to walk up, we're in a menu to fix the camera, and here's the first change. If I save state real quick right here, we're at about the position where the visual cue would tell us that we should go left here. However, if I go 2 frames up from this position, we normally would have hit the top, and this visual cue is essentially dependent on us hitting the top from there, but it turns out that our coordinates are exactly 1 unit away from us hitting the top, I think. And so it takes 3 frames for us to hit the top. So as a result, you actually want to go 1 frame further up here. Now this dot is going to be further down. So on the -1 rotation, you want to go 1 frame further up here before you go left. So we're here now, we're going to go left. And this is without encounters, so this is just showing the counts. So we're going to go left, the camera's going to adjust. We're going to go left until this frame here. Take note of this visual cue here. We're going to go up 2 frames and then hit the triangle above us. We're going to go right. Then we're going to return. And now this is a little bit different. So you can then go back to the same visual cue you used before. However, this visual cue now is a +1 on your count. So we are now at a count of 0. Even though we started with a count of -1, the fact that we moved to this position as opposed to 1 position to the left means that we're now at a count of 0. So what I mean by that is, we started with a count of 0 before we did the rotation. Then we did the rotation, we ended on a count of -1, then we did our movement as normal, then we came back here, and our index is 377, and it's supposed to be 377 on a count of 0. So we had a count of -1, and now we have a count of 0, so that means this position is an offset of +1. So you can then, just move down, get on the chocobo, and then do your next rotation like normal from here. For the -1 rotation, this position is -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to do a rotation of +1. So we're going to go from -1 to 0, which is where Wu Tai is aligned, and now to +1, where Wu Tai intersects the corner of this rock right here. Now, this rotation by itself gives us +1. However, we're going to have a net count of +2 as a result of having done this rotation. Because we do the rotation, we dismount at a different position, which is the whole reason why these setups are different, actually. And so, if I real quick do the setup, the alignment here should be the same as normal. So something like this. Then if I go left, and I start to frame advance about... That's a bit early, but... about here, you'll see our X position goes down, and now it's at 0045. And now it's at 0009. Normally, on this frame, we would have gone from the chunk with the forest to the chunk with the grass, and that would have been our first frame of fraction movement. However, our first frame of hostile movement. However, we have not made it over since we ended up dismounting further to the right. So this results in our second count of +1. So now we have a count of +2. Then we continue as normal, and let the camera do its thing. Gonna go left here. This position is what you want, and now go up 2. Then go right. And now here. We're at the same visual position, dot above the first chocobo tail. However, we now have an index of 378. We had a count of +2 before, but now we only have a count of +1. So this alignment here, on this rotation, is a count of -1. -4. -3. -2. -1. 0. 1. 2, 3. Again, this is for the +1 rotation on T4. So the next one to talk about is T5. T5 is actually significantly simpler to do -1 or +1 on, just because all 3 positions, -1, 0, and +1, happen to stay in each of the regions for the same number of frames. So here is the camera rotation for -1 on T3, on T5. And then here's 0, and here's +1. All right, we'll start with -1. Go up, do your menu to correct. Go up to the same visual cue as before, so here. Now go left. And the only things that really need to be adjusted are your scorpion position visual cues. So here is Scorp 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you go up, it's still going to be 4 frames after alignment with the bottom there. And it's actually 1 more frame to this. It's this frame. Then we go left until we hit. 1 more. There we have hit. Now go down. And it's pretty much going to be the same visual cue as before. In fact, this is the exact position. Again, this aligns just with that. Now go right. And then again, make it back to the chocobo. The tail aligned position was still a +0 on that one, even though we had on the -1 rotation. Here are all of the alignments: -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, +3. All right, now we're going to do the +1 rotation. This is the visual. This is the rotation. Dismount. Then go up. Menu to fix the camera. And this time we're actually going to use a slightly different visual cue here, in that the dot should be higher up in the grabby bit instead of lower down. So we're going to go left from here. And here is Scorpion 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We go up. This visual cue is also going to be slightly different. There is no longer a position where the bottom edge directly intersects with the point here. Instead, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 frames above where we're gonna have this go 4 frames above. So we're gonna go to this coordinate right here. Then we're gonna go left. We're gonna just hit this right there. It doesn't really look like we hit it, but you're gonna want to use background. You're going to want to use your positioning here to tell that you did. Then we're gonna go down. This time the cue here is this. The map is now, there's just a tiny bit of water gap between the map and the line. Now we're going to go right. And then cardinal movement back. And here, there actually is no position where the dot is directly above this first tail. This is the position where the dot is directly between the first and second tails, or slightly to the right of the first tail. This is your 0 position now. Go down, and mount. For T5 plus 1, this is -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, +3 on your count.